Adult Swim has ended its association with Mr. Roiland. Rick and Morty will continue. Obviously, it's a cash cow. We can't let that die. And the talented crew is dedicated to give you 2 or 3 more seasons that are probably as good as the Boondocks last season when the creators stopped working on that too. Now, if you're a normal human being, if you are a pretty much a regular functioning member of society, you might wonder two things. One, uh, who is Rick and Morty? It's a TV show. And two, who is this Mr. Justin Roiland? Now, Justin Roiland was one of the founders of Rick and Morty, one of the creators. I'll take it a step further and show a little bit of my autistic side to say that Justin Roiland actually won my heart and soul when he created Mr. Sprinkles. Shout out to Mr. Sprinkles. On a crappy VH1 TV show, but I liked it a lot. And it's also fair to say that the people who watch Rick and Morty are very, very passionate. Pretty much about almost anything. I mean, literally a couple of years ago, there was like riots at McDonald's because on the show they had like a reference to an old Mulan McDonald's Szechuan sauce, and because of this reference, this single silly reference, their fans who are die-hard Giga fans basically showed up to McDonald's in droves to participate and support this new venture of Szechuan sauce. And a couple of them spurred down.
This guy freaked out when his local McDonald's didn't have any of the precious sauce left.
Rick! Rick! I'm Pickle Rick! Rick!
I'm Pickle Rick. By the way, Pickle Rick is hilarious, unironically, so funny. So to say that fans would literally lose their minds over McDonald's barbecue sauce means that to see that their beloved Justin Roiland get kicked off the show, it hurts. And Adult Swim didn't give a lot of information because it seems like this is a pending issue. But people know that from public record that Justin Roiland basically has domestic abuse charges. He essentially is charged with felony kidnapping or forcing someone to not leave. I guess that's technically kidnapping. And then also assaulting his then girlfriend or fiance. Which, you know, it sounds like that's pretty much the story. He's a scumbag. In 2020, he beat up his wife or to-be wife girlfriend. And it kind of ends there. But then, out of all places, the sewer of the internet, 4chan, it said something that caught my attention and kind of added an extra level of depth here, where it actually kind of puts a new face on this. And that's to say that this random green texter simply stated, B. Justin Roiland, have a long-term girlfriend, Abby Maley, who becomes a fiance. Become Le Eben Epic California Reddit cartoon man. Invite Riley Reid to the studio because, wow, hot porn star friends are so cool. By the way, that's actually true. There's so many, like, weird content creators that for some reason love Riley Reid, and the fact that she gets, like, dogged out is, like, edgy and cool to them. I mean, listen, I'm not going to lie to you and say I'm not a fan of Riley Reid. Obviously, I'm not. I'm a Christian man, but the point is, people just love that for some reason. I don't know. It continues on to say that Riley Reid convinces your own retarded fiance to dump you and become an ass-licking, piss-drinking porn whore instead of marrying a guy who was soon to become a multimillionaire, resulting in emotional damage, turns into an obsessive weirdo who only goes for underage girls and I guess eventually beats up his wife. Or to-be wife. First of all, this is... I thought this was fake. I'm going to be honest with you, because I'm like, wait, what? Is this for real? But then we have supporting documents coming from, of all places, forums. Now, forums are probably 99.9% accurate. I mean, I think the only thing that comes close is the Library of Congress. And this person basically says, oh, hold up, wait a second. This person, Abby Maley, looks very familiar. Bada bing, bada boom, and he links to a Twitter post that I believe the account no longer exists. Yeah, the account no longer exists. But it is a fact that this individual was someone who, dated Justin Roiland. They were together at some point in time. There's like pictures of them together. And I did look up their IMDb. It seems like each person has a different IMDb where like, I say different person because this is alleged. It seems to line up. It seems to be true, and it seems to make sense. But there is a Abby Maley who, basically has credits on Rick and Morty, and then there is the Abby Maley who is someone who is a porn star and never really mentions anything about Rick and Morty, which I would have thought like maybe she would bring it up as like a selling point. It mentions that, she's this person, it's her name, and, she's an adult entertainer. But at no point in time does it ever say, like, I dated this person, I was with this person, but I guess you really don't need that. But I think that this piece of information, if true, adds an extra depth of reality and an extra bit of thinking into the mind of Justin Roiland, in the sense that, he's a 42-year-old man, right, at the moment. In the past, 2-3 years, he was 40-something. He was dating a girl who, at this time, allegedly, supposedly, is someone who was born in 1989. And so she's a couple of years his junior, about 8 years. And it basically kind of paints a picture of, he's with a young girl. She's impressionable. He's like, I got this show. I'm really cool. I got some clout. Then he lets Riley Reid come over to his house. All of a sudden, she's like, well, hold up. I think I just want to be in the porno industry, get dogged out. Justin Roiland can't handle it. He's like, what the fuck? What do you mean? Why would I have why would I have my wife getting dogged out in the porn industry? Why would you do this to me? Why would you cuck me in such a way? And he turns into a Hulk. He starts smashing, bashing, and that's how he catches the domestic abuse charge. That seems to make perfect sense to me. Obviously, it's alleged, but at the same time, because it lines up in such a way, it's pretty much factual if you don't really think about it or require any proof to enforce it. But it does add an extra layer of, like, why he would do it, because it's kind of like an odd thing to come out 3 years later, like, randomly. Like, this guy domestically abused this person who he was with allegedly since 2013, and that was, like, the first case. I guess he just couldn't take it. He just couldn't take going to all these websites, most of them free websites, and seeing his fiancée, his wife-to-be, his lover, getting dogged out, spit roasted, flipped over, flipped back, somersault, through the back, through the front, off the bed, through the window. And at that moment, Bruce Banner became the Hulk who got cucked.
At the end of every single video, make sure you ask people to rate and subscribe to your content. It makes them feel like they're involved even though they're really not. And most importantly, make sure they comment on every single video. If you have to, disguise it. Call it something like the question of the day. And really make them think you're gonna really read it when you really don't have to. Ha ha ha!